African American women are vital to the communities that we serve. We are mothers, daughters, sisters, teachers, caretakers, community activists, and so much more.
We cannot afford to lose anyone. COVID-19 has devastated our community by affecting our families with prolonged illness and hospitalization, disrupting our children's education, and affecting the way we live, work, and worship.
Vaccines are our opportunity to get back to our work, but more importantly, to keep us out of the hospital and back into the communities that we know and love.
Sisters, work together for common goals, and we have so much work to do in the community. As African American women, we are the pulse of our community.
Sisters, we have work to do.
Get the vaccine.
It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's showtime. What's happening, everybody? The Geno Jones Show live, YouTube TV. I come to you live. No, this is not on the radio. This is on the TV. All right, via YouTube. You can watch it on your television at home, on your big screen, on your small screen, on your tablet, your smartphone. Watch it wherever, in the barbershop, in the hair salon, the beauty salon. They called it back in the day hair salon, salon, at work, in the airport, in the laundromat, stuck in traffic if you're not driving. If you're driving, no, you can't watch it, but you can listen anyway. Somebody else, the passenger, they can watch it on their smartphone or their tablet. Pull it up. All right, Monday through Friday, I do this live, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Subscribe to the Geno Jones Show. You and everybody you know, please subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes today. Okay, listen, I'm going to continue to beat this drum about voting. Do you know that white Americans, on average, vote at a 70% rate? So that means like 70% of all eligible white voters vote. And the majority of white voters do not vote for Democrats. As a matter of fact, even Barack Obama didn't even get 50% of like the white vote. He got like in the 40s, mid 40s. So why is that important? Well, today, if you did not see, and maybe you didn't see it if you're watching me live right now, but after this show, it'll be all on TV. So today's January 6th committee hearing, it is the committee to find out really what was going on, what happened January 6th of 2021. Well, today's hearing was a wake-up call. Are you listening to me? Today's January 6th hearing was a wake-up call for people. Now, I'm really talking to us, my black people, my black folks. All right? Because once again, let me go back to the beginning of the show. 70% of all eligible white voters, on average, white Americans vote at a 70% rate. 77 out of 10 white Americans that are registered to vote. Only about the best that we have ever done. I think when Barack Obama was elected, out of all the eligible black voters, it was in the low mid 60s somewhere. I think one year was around 62%. Maybe that first year, that first term in 2008, it might have been somewhere near 65%. And that's the highest it has ever been. It's been in the 50s, the mid 50s. You know, keep in mind, the majority of white people in America don't vote for people like Barack Obama. It's just a fact. He never got 50% of all the eligible white voters to vote for him. Now, why is all that important? Today shows that there was an organized movement by all the racist, anti-Semitic, sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant, basically white nationalist hate groups. It was an organized movement with them, people that was connected to Orange Hitler, to take power by violence, and they're still trying to take power by running for every office, from school boards, sitting on school boards, to mayors, alder people, council people, district attorneys, judges, local, state, and federal office. You've got people who stormed the Capitol. You got one dude who is like indicted, I believe. And when he's indicted, I don't know if he's convicted. As a matter of fact, he may be in jail, or was in jail. That's running to be governor of the state of Michigan. Google it. Don't take my word for it. You got people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, running to be in the United States Congress. Man, this is checkers. This is chess, not checkers. I keep saying that. I'm going to say it again. But today's January 6th hearing, even the people in the news media was like, oh my God. Their heads were blowing off their shoulders. Oh, you got to see how serious this really was. And it ain't over. These folks are not through trying to do this. No. Man, serious. They want to return this country not to the 1950s, back to the 1850s. And the Supreme Court, they're part of it. They're part of this basically takeover. It's like a coup. The Supreme Court, they are taking away people's rights. They revealed the right that women have to terminate a pregnancy, to have an abortion, repealing Roe versus Wade. They're talking about basically throwing out all the amendments in the basically ruling these amendments, calling them into question. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm going to play one, at least play like a law school student. The Fourth Amendment, which guarantees our right to privacy. Uncle Clarence Thomas, when they made the ruling about Roe versus Wade, he had an opinion. All the judges have an opinion where they write it up. He said, well, you know what? We need to, I'm paraphrasing, all these other situations like birth control and same-sex marriage and same-sex relationships, which were rooted in privacy. The Fourth Amendment basically protects your right to privacy. So your right to whether or not you want to have an abortion, your right to whether or not you want to take birth control, your right to decide or just to sleep with whoever you want to sleep with, straight or gay, your right to marry whoever you want to marry, straight or gay. Well, Clarence Thomas like, well, we need to revisit that whole privacy thing. Basically opening up the door. So, but when you do that, they won't stop there. Oh, well, let's see. Well, you don't have a right to marry somebody that, don't look like you. Or, wait a minute. Maybe companies, restaurants have a right to discriminate on whether or not they want to serve you. Schools can discriminate. They don't have to allow black kids to go to their schools. No, listen, man, you all better take this thing very serious. But January 6th, we don't really, I knew, but when you hear people, when you hear one of the former leaders of the Oath Keepers, now I've been telling you about these groups, the Oath Keepers, the 3%ers, the Proud Boys. These are basically street gangs, like white nationalist street gangs. Now, the Oath Keepers are made up of a bunch of ex and some current military members. Proud Boys are really just like a damn street gang. They're like a white version, even though the dude that was running it was like this Afro-Latino, this Afro-Cuban dude. But they're basically like a white street gang. The Proud Boys, 3%ers, really. All racist, anti-Semitic, sexist, misogynistic, just white nationalist hate groups that were going to be like the violent muscle for Orange Hitler. As a matter of fact, so one of the former leaders of the Oath Keepers who testified, because he got caught up, got in trouble, got arrested, got convicted. His words, not my words, his words, okay? He was one of the leaders of this Oath Keepers, white nationalists, wannabe military, fake militia, illegal militia group. Said this was an attempt, this was an armed insurrection. This was an attempt at an armed, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said like an armed rebellion. That was the exact quote, I do believe. This was an attempt at an armed rebellion. As a matter of fact, then he went on later on to say, we got to stop, basically, he said, we got to stop, he said, we got to basically start calling a thing a thing. He said, we got to stop dancing around these terms. He said, this was an attempt at a civil war. This is the dude from the Oath Keepers testifying under oath, saying, listen, these people led by Orange Hitler. As a matter of fact, one of Orange Hitler's former campaign, the head of his campaign, this guy named Brad Pascal. So they got a hold of one of his text messages, or some of his text messages, like a text thread. And he basically said, he was kind of ashamed talking about the president, he has called for a civil war. This was the former campaign manager for Orange Hitler in a series of private texts with this black woman, Katrina Pearson, who was still trying to defend this. I'm not even going to go down that road about the black people who supported somebody who was openly racist, who was surrounded by all these white nationalists who wanted us, and were open about wanting a civil war. His words, telling her, basically the president, he called for a civil war. Orange Hitler's former campaign manager said that in a series of tweets. In a series of private text messages. Okay? Now do you all see why I've been talking about that you got to vote? In every election, you got to show up. I did the math for you. All right, because listen, they have come for women. Listen, we as black people, no, they have always come for black people. They've come for black people and Native American people for 402 years. So I get it. A lot of folks are not, well, Joe Biden, his poll numbers, even among Democrats, well, because he's too timid and he's not aggressive enough. All that, you know, a lot of things, multiple things. Some people say two things can be true. Well, more than two things can be true. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Could he be more aggressive in terms of, well, first of all, if you really want, here, I'm going to give you the secret, right? And I'm going to do it again. I've done so many shows about this. If you really, really want to make President Joe Biden be more aggressive, then make sure that you appoint more Democratic senators. Put more Democrats in the United States Senate. Just like right here, South Carolina, Democratic candidate Crystal Matthews running to unseat Cotton to Congress. I got to shout out my boy Clay Kane on Sirius XM. That's his term. I got to give him credit. Call him Cotton to Congress. That's the story. I'm from picking cotton to the Congress. Tim Scott, who still is going along supporting this ideology. Now he'll lie and say, well, how could you say that? I'm a black man. I'm not racist. The policies that you support, the person that you supported in the White House, you had this little tepid, lukewarm ass, I think the evening of January 6th, but you voted not to certify the election. So you voted. Now you stood there and you said the right thing in the nice dulcet tones, and you look calm and non-threatening. Tim Scott, I'm talking to you, but you voted basically for a political coup. Yeah, you did, because you voted not to certify the votes, because you knew and you know there was no voter fraud, you know it. Orange Hitler, he knew it. Everybody surrounding him, they all are snitching now. Everybody's dry snitching. The people all around him, he knew there was no voter fraud. Hell, his former attorney general, Bill Barr, who was very problematic with his racist ass, even had to give up to go say, listen, dude, there's no voter fraud. We need evidence. You just couldn't do it. It was too much for even people like Bill Barr. They knew it, and now it's clear, today's hearing, they knew it. It was all kind of communications with Roger Stone. Basically, he was the leader of all these racist, as I call them, street gangs. He was the plug connection to the Oath Keepers and the 3%ers and the Proud Boys. They were his private security. And there's all kind of communications between the leaders of all these groups, between the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and the 3%ers, about we got to show up. As a matter of fact, just watch it later. Some of the personal text messages and posts. So they had they call them, so they're like chat rooms and private messaging sites, called 4chan and 8chan, I believe. Basically, these are like the extreme white nationalist versions of Twitter, because they got kicked off of Twitter and Facebook because they were so openly racist and were bragging about a civil war. Oh, it's going to be a civil war and we're ready. They showed some of the posts and the messages, and they was like, yes, it's going to be an MF and civil war. And one of them was calling for there's some little slang term about a red wedding or something, which is supposed to be code for a mass murder. Hell, they built a gallows. They built a gallows on the U.S. Capitol to hang Mike Pence, and was chanting, hang Mike Pence. And they had posters where they were actively talking about, we're going to murder, we want to go and murder all these Democrats, the men, women, and the children. Yes, the January 6th Commission, they've got all the communications. Let me tell you something, if you don't understand this by now. Man, when the federal government, when they decide to come for your ass, woo! Trust me, when they want to come for you, that's right, even you, white man, when the federal government decides to come for your ass. There was a scene in a movie called The Cotton Club. Lawrence Fishburne, one of my favorite movies. Lawrence Fishburne was in the movie. Richard Gere was in the movie. And there was a little short guy, I think his name was Bob Haskins, a little short, little stubby guy. And he was I think his character was Oni Madden. And Gregory Hines was in the movie. So there's this classic scene, or something happened with Gregory Hines, because he was a dancer, he wasn't a gangster. But Oni Madden did something, and Gregory Hines, he turned into a gangster. He wanted to kill Oni Madden. And I'll never forget the classic line. I think it was Lawrence Fishburne or some other brothers in this scene that said, when Oni Madden is on your ass, you really got somebody on your ass. Oni Madden ain't got nothing on the federal government. Because when the federal government is coming for you, when they are on your ass, you really got somebody on your ass. And now, these white nationalists, all these white hate groups, the Oath Keepers, the 3%ers, the Proud Boys, they got all the communication talking about how they were ready and it was going to be a civil war. It was going to be mass murder, a bloody wedding, the slang they were using. Oh, they got all the communications, and they showed a lot of it today. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because, man, I don't think that we really realize how close we came. This whole democracy stuff you hear people talk, man, that was about to be out the window. America was about to become Venezuela, or some of these African countries, nations on the continent of Africa, where they have civil wars. This is about to get real. I mean, we really didn't realize. Today, it was really clear because you saw all the white nationalist groups that basically Trump had tie in. They were like his muscle. That's why I was like, if Mike Pence wasn't going to break the law and basically not certify, which he had no power, which is why he didn't do it, he had to certify the election. Because it's just, here's an example. Mike Pence's job, I'm at the Academy Awards and I'm a presenter. And they give me the envelope, best picture, best actor. My job is to open the damn envelope and read the name and try not to screw up the name like Steve Harvey did. That was like the pageant. He got the name wrong and he said they messed it up. Anyway, that's all your job is. The only job you got, Mike Pence, the only job that Mike Pence had was to open the damn envelopes. And like Joe Biden wins the state of Illinois. He gets so many electoral votes for the Electoral College. That was his only job. He couldn't edit it. He couldn't say, nah, I don't like that. I don't know. Constitutionally, he had no choice. Just read the damn envelope, Mike, because they wanted to hang your ass because they didn't want you to read the envelope. That was his only job. So there were two parts to basically this coup. There was the political part, not certifying the election, and then there was the violent. They wanted to try to tie in the military. Trump wanted to declare martial law to use the military to go and seize all these voting machines. Man, this was about to get real. I knew we came close, but man, when you hear the people, like I said, when you hear these dudes, one dude was one of the leaders of the Oath Keeper. Another dude just got caught up. His wife was there. He was like, well, I just came because the president told me to come and, I believed everything he said. Now I feel bad because it done messed up my life and I lost my job and my wife almost left me. I almost felt sorry for him. I said, I almost. But come on, you dumb ass. You a grown ass man. You listen to the lies. You listen to the lies because you want to believe the lie. Because inside of you, you buy into that whole ideology of whiteness, which is made up, I keep telling you, is a made up construct. It was made up in Europe in the late 70s, around late 1670s, 1680s, the 17th century, and it was imported and it was perfected here in America. But only a small group of so-called white men only were the ones that were going to have power and rule and dominate over everybody else. And they were going to pit other white people who they didn't feel was on their level. Well, we gotta make them hate somebody because they're going to hate us. So we got to make them think that the reason that they're not in our club is because of these dark people that we stole from Africa. Or these indigenous people whose land that we stole, that was stolen when we came here. This whole concept of whiteness. Anytime you feel that you got to oppress somebody to make you feel superior, that shows that you are really you are not just insecure, but you are really inferior and insecure. I don't have to tear anybody down to build myself up. I can stand on my own merits. I can stand on my own foundation. I got my own receipts. The Geno Jones Show, the best and the baddest in the business. Tina Turner had a song, Simply the Best. Muhammad Ali said, it ain't bragging if you can back it up. I got the receipts. I don't have to knock anybody else's shows. There are a lot of talented shows on a lot of different platforms. I say it's the biggest and the best. You don't believe me? Watch it. So I don't have to tear anybody down. And when you're really confident in yourself and you put in the work, and you got the commitment and the dedication and the work ethic, you get the receipts to back it up. So you got to take this serious. As a matter of fact, let me show you how bad it got. So the rats are really fleeing the sinking ship. So Tesla CEO Elon Musk, problematic dude whose company, Tesla, is being a part, is facing multiple racial discrimination lawsuits, racial harassment, just the racism inside of Tesla, out of control. So, he wanted to buy Twitter, and he was going to pay this record amount of $44 billion, and all of a sudden, like, the stock price dropped. Now, all of a sudden, he's backing up out of the deal. Anyway, and Elon Musk was a huge supporter of Orange Hitler, a.k.a. Donald Trump. So my new viewers are wondering, Geno, who's he talking about? Orange Hitler. That's Donald Trump, Orange Hitler. It's my name. I should trademark it because I came up with it, Orange Hitler. So Elon Musk, in a series of tweets, basically said that, talking about Donald Trump, he said, his words, it's time for Trump to hang up his hat and sail off into the sunset. Let me say that again. Elon Musk tweeted, it is time for Donald Trump to hang up his hat and sail off into the sunset. He said Trump would be 82 at the end of his term if he somehow wiggled his way back into the White House for a second term. As a matter of fact, if he ever, please understand this, let me be very clear, and I want you guys to really pay attention. Even if you got to turn up your TV, your tablet, your device, your smartphone, listen closely. If Orange Hitler ever gets back in the White House, they'll have to carry him out in a body bag, meaning that he will die in the White House. If he gets back in there, he is going to do everything he can not to come out. I'm warning you. So if for no other reason, that is the reason that you need to vote. Because if you think the Supreme Court repealing Roe versus Wade, wait until there's enough Orange Hitler, racist, misogynistic, sexist U.S. senators and U.S. Congress people to pass a federal law to make an abortion. So it'll be a federal ban on abortion. So even in states like Illinois and California, New York State, the states where you can get legal abortions, a federal abortion ban means federally, a national, it will be illegal to get an abortion anywhere in the United States of America. That's going back to some 1850s kind of stuff, when they had abortion bans like that, because they didn't want black women to get abortions because it was considered a property crime. Why was it considered a property crime? Because black people were considered property, and the unborn child was considered property, or whoever the slave master who owned the woman that was pregnant. So you own the unborn child. You got to be out of your damn mind. Ain't nobody going back to that. Period. Full stop. End of that sentence. But that's where these people want to go. So, once again, I'm going to go back where I started the show at. 70% of white Americans vote. Basically, in all elections, they vote at a 70%. 7 out of 10 white people who registered to vote, they vote. Black people are voting recently, outside of when Barack ran, at best mid-60s, 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. We've been voting like 5 out of 10. I think sometimes it's like 4 out of 10 black people. We need to, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. The times we living in, black folks, 10 out of 10 black people need to vote and realize that you can play around with Orange Hitler if you want to. I know some of you brothers, and women, who maybe, done well in business, like, well, I got a tax cut. Okay, be careful. Be careful, because they're coming for you too. Just because you got money, black people, you don't think that listen, they burnt down Tulsa and cities and communities. They burned down an entire community. The Greenwood community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, miles and miles of successful black businesses. And the racist white folks that lived in Tulsa who didn't have that money and was jealous of the success, they burned it down and they bombed it. And the local and state government was a part of it. They literally flew planes over and they were dropping these bombs over that community. Man, y'all better wake up. All right? Oh, I got to say, so Elon Musk is last tweet talking about basically telling Donald Trump, hey, man, time to go ahead. What did he say? He said, hang up your hat. And it's time for you to hang up your hat and set sail off into the sunset. And sail, he said, and sail into the sunset. Time to hang up your hat there, Orange Hitler, and sail into the sunset. Then he said, at the end of his, he will be 82 at the end of his term. He said, that is too old to be the chief executive of anything, let alone the United States. That's the one time, at least in his case, Joe Biden would be cool. I'd be cool with it. But that's the one time I've actually agreed with Elon Musk, and it might be the last time. Happy birthday, comedian and TV show host Lonnie Love. I know that's a hell of a segue. I got to get out of there. It's time for me to go. Actress Lisa Nicole Carson. So when I think of Lisa Nicole Carson, think of the movie. It's a huge cult movie, 90s cult movies. Love Jones with Nia Long and Lawrence Tate. Nia Long's like her girl, like her best girlfriend. That's sister. Lisa Nicole Carson, 53 today. R&B star, 80s R&B star. Tracy Spencer, 46. For the record, Bill Cosby, 85 today. Just for the record. Just putting it out there in case you want to know. And on this day in 1864, George Washington Carver, scientist, inventor, one of the greatest scientists and inventors in world history, a black man, was born in 1864. And the things that he did with just a peanut, just Google it. It was amazing. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. And God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Show. Even I'm doing my Frankie Beverly and Mays Frankie Beverly impersonation for the rest of the week. I can't get to my master barber and the official hairstylist. I can't get to him till Monday. So we're going to be rocking the cap all week long. So shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist of the Geno Jones Show, even on a bad hair day. He's on Instagram. Check him out, Kelby Cutting Up, CEO of Designer Cuts out in Goose Creek, South Carolina. KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check her out on Instagram. So she's got a couple. LX.NCL_. L as in Larry, L as in Lexi, X as in extra, dot, N as in Nancy, C as in Charlie, L as in Larry. You got that? LX.NCL_. Or just Lexi with 2 X's, LEXXIE.Nicole_designs. Check her out. Shout out to everybody. What's happening, Groove Master Dre? My dude, I see you. Yeah. Happy birthday, Bill Cosby. Yeah. Yep. Yes. Happy birthday, everybody else, too. All right, everybody. Listen. Vote like your life depends on it. Because you all think I was just saying this. Like I said, you tripping? Joe Biden, he hadn't done enough, and, we hadn't got Joe. Okay, listen. You complain if you want to. You think Joe Biden's too old, then put enough Democratic senators and people in the House of Representatives around his ass to prop his ass up till it's time to get another president. But you can play with this thing if you want to. And all the stuff that President Biden couldn't do, because he got a lot done. Gas prices have gone down for like a month straight now. Ain't nobody talking about it. When the gas prices were going up, everybody was like gassing them up. All the money, I mean, you know, you got a hold of COVID in terms of people getting shots, and you know, you didn't have a president telling you to drink bleach and Lysol and all that kind of crazy-ish. Y'all got a short memory. Okay, now you find out that he was part of an armed insurrection. This was an armed rebellion. Not my words. One of the former leaders of the Oath Keepers, one of these racist white nationalist gangs, street gangs / groups, his words. He was behind an armed rebellion. That's what it was. He knew everything that was going on. That's why he didn't want they call them magnetometers. The magnetometers are these, basically, they're like metal detectors, but really high-end metal detectors, magnetometers. He's like, no, I don't want them. I don't want my people to go through that, because he knew that they had AR-15s and all kind of weapons. You can't even have those in D.C. It is illegal to carry weapons like that in the nation's capital. And go to show you how bold they were. They didn't give a damn, because they figured their whiteness, that the law didn't apply to them because they were white men. And that's Orange Hitler's attitude. The laws don't apply to me. I'm the white man. I'm the white folks' Jesus. That's the attitude that he's got, and a lot of them fools believe that about him. Man, y'all better wake up and vote. You ain't, look, this ain't about, this ain't a popularity contest. You ain't gotta love Joe Biden, but you better love yourself, and you better love your family. And somebody that's gonna not take your ass back to 1852. You don't have to worry about going back to 1952. It's 2022. They're trying to go back to 1852. Man, you better wake up. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching, everybody. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Shout out to all my old subscribers. Shout out to my subscribers that's been down from day one. It's Heavy D, the late Heavy D would say, got nothing but love for you, baby. As always, I'm going to close by saying this. Please be blessing. Oh, my God, please. Let's pray for peace. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.
African American women are vital to the communities that we serve. We are mothers, daughters, sisters, teachers, caretakers, community activists, and so much more.
We cannot afford to lose anyone. COVID-19 has devastated our community by affecting our families with prolonged illness and hospitalization, disrupting our children's education, and affecting the way we live, work, and worship.
Vaccines are our opportunity to get back to our work, but more importantly, to keep us out of the hospital and back into the communities that we know and love.
Sisters, work together for common goals, and we have so much work to do in the community. As African American women, we are the pulse of our community.
Sisters, we have work to do.
Get the vaccine.